Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be doing word sentences and solving equations. And today's joke for the day is this: why do elephants have flat feet? Just wait and see. Here we go. Guys, when you guys are dealing with word sentences, there's some key words that you will want to know. Obviously, I'm not going to take the time for you guys to get all this written down. If you want to write it all down, you can pause it and write these down. But some ones that I want to point out. If you see the word sum, the sum of, that's going to be adding. If you see the difference of, that's going to be just subtracting. The product of is multiply. The quotient of is divide. A key one that you need to hear about though, it's less than is a freaky one. That's what you're going to hear me say over and over. Because if I said to you guys, what is 2 less than 5? You guys, if you just answer that, 2 less than 5 would be 3. Well, if you guys did 2 minus 5, though, 2 minus 5 would be negative 3. And that's not what the answer to that would be. So, what we have to do actually to get this 3, we actually have to switch the 5 and the 2 and the position that they are in. And so 5 will go here, less than means minus, and then 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. Less than causes a switch or a flip around there. And less than is the only one that really does it. So if you see, minus, it's just the order stays the same in the numbers. But less than is a freaky one. So let's go ahead and see what we got going here, and we'll go from there. On this first one, it says the sum of a number x and negative 6 is negative 21. Well, guys, if you hear the word the sum of is one of those 4 phrases: the sum of, the difference of, the product of, and the quotient of. If you hear that, you need to take whatever that stands for. So the sum means addition. You need to put the addition sign in the and spot. So you're going to put the addition sign there. And then you guys can have parentheses after the word of, and right at the end of its statement, a number x and negative 6. So what you have here, you have a number x, that's x, you have plus, and then a negative 6 is supposed to be equals negative 21. You could have parentheses here, but it's not going to make any changes on the left side of the wall, so we technically won't need them in this case. So after this, we would go ahead and draw what we call the wall. When we do that, to get rid of a negative 6, focus on that. To get rid of a negative 6, the opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. So I'm really going to add 6 to both sides, and I'm going to get x equals, this will be negative 15. Different sign subtract, the bigger sign is negative. You guys could check this. We're not going to check every one of these today in the video, just for the sake of time. But you guys could go ahead, rewrite the problem, plug it in. And then you guys go ahead, negative 15 plus a negative 6, that is negative 21. That same sign's add and keep. Since this is the same, negative 15 is our answer. On this one right here, it says the difference of. The difference of is another one of those phrases. The difference of stands for subtraction. So we put that in the minus spot, or in the and spot there. So it's a number p. It's going to be p minus 2 equals negative 19. Notice I didn't switch the p and the 2 because it's not the word less than. So in this case, I could have parentheses here, but I really don't need them because it doesn't change anything in this one. So I go ahead, and the first thing I do is draw the wall. When I do that, I go ahead and add 2 to get rid of a minus 2. And then you guys end up getting p equals, this is different sign subtract, so you get negative 17. And you could go and check that, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to right now. Next one. On this one, it says a number q minus 6 is negative 15. So I'm going to have q minus is minus, 6 is 6, is stands for equals, and then negative 15. So after I have that, I can go ahead and draw the wall. From there, I go ahead and add 6 to both sides. So that's going to end up being q equals, this is different sign subtract, so you're going to end up getting a negative 9. And you could check that, but for the sake of time, again, I'm going to skip that for now. Next one. On this one right here, this says 7 less than a number x is negative 8. Less than, this stands for subtraction. Less than is the freaky one. So you have to take the 7 and move it behind the less than, and take the number x, whatever that is, and move it in front. So now it's going to be x minus 7 stands for equals, and then you have -8. So at this point, you draw what we always call the wall. When you guys do that, to get rid of a -7, you guys add 7 to both sides. Then you guys get x equals, different sign subtract, that'd be a -1. And you could check that, and that would check out. Next one. It says the product of 5 and a number is -65. The product of stands for multiplication. So you put that in the and spot. That's a times sign there. So 5 times a number, we call that x, is equals, and then -65. Now guys, you could have parentheses around here. You don't need it. You also could have just written this as 5x. 5x is the same thing as 5 times x. Either way, to get rid of times 5, you guys have to draw first the wall. And to get rid of times 5, you divide by 5. So you go ahead and divide by 5 on both sides, and you get x to equal -65 divided by 5 is going to be a -13. And you guys could go back and check that, and that would check. Next one. On this right here, it says the quotient of. The quotient of means division. So you're going to have a division sign here. And it's a number, and -6 is 3. So we can say a number, x. Now we could write divided by -6. But the reality is that's not going to look correct when we are doing our equations. So we could also write it like this. Divided by -6 stands for equals, and then you have 3. To get rid of divided by, you have to go ahead and do the opposite of divided by, which is multiply by -6. And you would do that on both sides, and you also should draw the wall. From there, you guys see the -6's reduce out, and you get x to equal 3 times -6 is -18. And then you guys could check that as well. Last one. On this one, guys, we're going to switch gears up even more. It says James makes $120. Blake makes 1/5 of what James makes. How much does Blake make? Well, we know James makes $120. We want to figure out how much Blake makes. We know Blake makes 1/5. The word of means times what James makes. James makes $120, right? So it's 1/5 of 120. And that's supposed to be whatever Blake makes. So in this case, then, you guys could go ahead, set this up. Since you're multiplying by fractions, you multiply across the top, you get 120. Multiply across the bottom, you get 5. When you do 120 divided by 5, you guys will end up getting 24. So that means Blake makes $24. From there, if you read on to 13b, it says Sam makes $7.25 less than Blake. How much money does Sam make? Well, you know Blake makes $24, right? So less than is the freaky one. So we do 24 minus $7.25. So I go 24, line up my decimals, $7.25. You're going to have to do some borrowing. And you're going to end up getting $16.75. $16.75 for Sam. All right? And that's how we would do a problem like that. Again, it's just a word problem, knowing what the words mean. Of means times, less than is freaky, okay? And then just know it, just reading into the problem there. Guys, you can do this. Have a great evening. And, oh, we need to do the joke for the day. Oh, my goodness. The joke is this. Why do elephants have flat feet? Come on now. It's not to stamp out flaming ducks like I know all you guys were saying. It's simply this. They have flat feet because they don't have arches in their sneakers. Come on, guys. You didn't know that? Have a good one, guys. Take care.